The odd thing that struck me, and I know I'm going to sound like a lunatic for this one, is that I hear similarities with Bon Iver on this album and Jodeci. It is a almost spring-like day here in New York City. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I just want to thank the several people that have subscribed recently. That's pretty cool. Here we go. What am I talking about? Transcendence. I had a bunch of conversations over the weekend with a couple of artists and a couple of managers about their artists. Of course, as things go along, people are always trying to figure out what would make something click. How can they bring their project to the next level? Why are we not getting traction? All the fancy buzzwords. Then I have my own buzzword, which is transcendent. To me, it's the test of whether a project or a song or an album or an EP has anything that is transcendent, that would connect on a level that would actually get the attention that people are trying to get. Is that the best way to put it? I'm not sure. With reference to the transcendence, I have my notes here. I just kind of went back a little ways, just off the top of my head, thinking about artists and or songs that were that moment when there was the unique thing that caught everyone's attention and brought them out and changed everything, changed music, changed the scene, whether it was in pop or in hip hop or in rock. So, I mean, I've got a few here. I'll go sort of in chronological order. I'm not going back forever. When Doves Cry by Prince. I remember when it came out, it was just, there was clearly nothing that sounded like it. The visual was different, obviously, too. Prince was quite unique. But that particular song could not fall into a category. And it was one of those moments. I don't know if they knew when they were working on the song, like, okay, yeah, this is it. Like, we found something. Not sure, but they did. Smells Like Teen Spirit. One of those tracks where wherever you are, when you heard it for the first time, you kind of remember it. You Ought to Know, Alanis Morissette, caught everyone's attention. Nothing sounded like it. Nothing had the delivery. That anger thing was pretty unique at that time. Hard Knock Life, Jay-Z. I'm sure that he almost cringes to do that song now because it's kind of, he's moved on. But Jay-Z would, and I will make this argument to anyone, Jay-Z would not have gone mainstream without that song. He hadn't even come close to going mainstream. He was a hip-hop star. He was a rap icon, more or less. But Hard Knock Life took it to an insane level. Fallen by someone I know well, ALICIA KEYS. I remember I wasn't working with her at that time. The record had come out and I just started working with her, which led up to working on Diary. I remember being on other recording sessions at the time when Fallen came out, and the industry was shook. I was working with a lot of R&B female singers during that time period, and there was frustration and anger and shock over this song, Fallen, by ALICIA Keys, and the fact that she had the, nerve to start off the song a cappella and then get into this minor key, dark, brooding song about how she keeps falling in love. Mr. Brightside by The Killers. It's still unique. I mean, and actually, if you look at these songs, they're still unique now. If they came out now, even though they might not fit current music, there's something different about these type of songs and these performances that lift them through everything. These are all major label artists. Hello by Adele, clearly, and Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. Those are tracks that they're different. When I discuss projects with other producers, managers, art and engineers and label people, the big move is always trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, how can we break through? How can we get attention? How could we get noticed? It seems to be that the big mistake is just going for exactly what everyone else is doing either 5 minutes ago or an hour ago, and you're late. So then you're a copy of a copy, and there is no chance for that transcendent moment where you can break through and actually get attention. I don't know if I'm going to do this every episode, every session here that we do, but another book that I recommend is The Magic of Thinking Big. The Magic of Thinking Big. And that is by, I think his last name is Schwartzman. It's an old book. There's some dated things in there. There's some things that, like, you know, haven't aged well, so to speak. But the general crux of it is fantastic. And if anybody's looking for a little something to, like, motivate them, that's a book that I'm into as far as, you know, the self-motivating, self-help kind of book. Another book that I think is amazing is Shantaram. That's a novel, somewhat fictional, maybe not fictional. There's been a little bit of controversy to that it was like a true story that's been embellished. If you've got the appetite for 900 pages of very intense writing, that's just about my favorite book in that genre. Music that I've been listening to is today really got deep into Bon Iver, the album called I, and I guess it came out in 2019. Really interesting album. I sort of got turned onto it from the guy from Tears for Fears mentioning it. It was in his top 5 of sort of current music. Started listening to it today while I was doing some stuff around the apartment here in the morning. The odd thing that struck me, and I know I'm going to sound like a lunatic for this one, is that I hear similarities with Bon Iver on this album and Jodeci. There are vocal harmonies and layers that are very Jodeci-esque. And I don't know whether that's sort of like the gospel layering and the super tight intervals that are weaving in and out of the choruses. Plus he has all the miles of effects on things, but the beats also are sort of have that tempo, that Jodeci tempo from like Diary of a Mad Band or something. In that, What About Us or something like that. I would love to hear some sort of a almost like I'd like to hear Jodeci sing Bon Iver songs and just rethink them and maybe put beats to them and have Casey and JoJo sing the Bon Iver stuff, and maybe vice versa. Maybe Bon Iver should do Cry For You or something like that and do a cover. That's my idea first. Bon Iver, if you ever stumble across my crazy video, you owe me.